Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Tori. I haven't loaded in quite yet because I wanted to show you that the main screen has changed. It's a lot brighter. It's the Academy here, this lovely institution with its ugliness layer, which is of the snow, in my opinion at least, as I've stated before. But yeah, that was nice to load into. I wasn't really expecting that, but I'm sure that is because we are now officially out of the prologue. We are now out of the first 3 days and into the beginning. You know, we're still at the start of something, you know? So we haven't really seen too much. You know, we've gone and done 5 episodes already, nothing too crazy, but we've gotten a great opportunity to meet Mary Harker, know a little bit about her past, sort of what she has going on, and we were able to piece things together properly and confront her about how she actually wants her journey to end here, basically where she was, where she grew up, especially before becoming a vampire. So, yeah, that was a very emotional moment, what we saw in the last episode, and it was really great. It really reminded me just how powerful Purple software can really bring, you know, for the moments. So everything is good now with Mary. She is able to live on. She can actually, you know, be in the sun, you know, take in that lovely vitamin D the natural way and all that. And, you know, see how ugly the place looks with all the snow. But I'm sure to her it's going to be beautiful. Being able to be out in the sun like an actual normal person, that's going to be beautiful. That's going to be wonderful for her. So I'm sure she'll want to keep on living a little bit more. But there will be a point, I'm sure, where she will be ready to, you know, truly end it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And there's still characters to meet. Like, there's still a whole cast of characters. And I'm sure an overall plot that leads back to Ritsu, our main character, we're still, you know, waiting to see. So let's read on and see what comes up here. Night gives way to day, the first day of a brand new life. You got that right. I spend a refreshing morning in the chapel, the first for a long while. Though it's just the atmosphere that's refreshing, I'm feeling pretty stiff myself. Father, I allowed myself to give into my anger yesterday. I've come to repent. After the usual worship, I admit to a personal confession. I knew my only chance to save Mary was to be firm with the devil. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't serious, but I'm sure you know how complex humans can be. I don't mean to make excuses for myself. Of course, I would humbly ask for your forgiveness. I'm talking myself in circles. I sigh. If I really am meant to be the savior of demonkind and rebel against your teachings, I'd at least ask for some leeway with... Uh-huh. Just then, I hear a pathetic whimper of a cry from the main residence. That's not what I thought that was. No, it's my confession that was pathetic. Amen. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's weird how he does come here, knowing of his position now as the supposed savior of demonkind, and also he doesn't necessarily believe in God, but he's also a priest. Maybe against his will, I don't know. I finish off my personal prayer and head back to the house. See what's going on here. I have no idea what's going on here. What in the world is this? Honestly, Mary's hunched in the corridor's shadows, tears in her eyes. She looks and sounds like a cat. Brimming with expectation, she's already changed into her uniform in preparation for starting classes today. So she's actually going to fulfill her wish of checking out the halls of this school during the day, because she didn't want to go in there and check it out during the night. She actually wants to see how it is during the day. She gets to be a part of it all. Good morning. Mary gets out a cheerful greeting despite her tears. What are you doing? Yes. For some reason, she's glaring at me. What's going on? Then she timidly stretches out a hand towards me. But the moment it comes into contact with the sunlight streaming through the window, it begins to hiss. Oh, I think I know what's going on. It's gonna be like a Monogatari sort of situation where she's gonna have to continue to take our blood. Oh. Tears stream down her cheeks as she blows on her hand. The burn heals quickly, at which point she reaches out toward the light again. Why would you do that? You know what's gonna happen. You know exactly what's gonna go. You know what's gonna go down. She moans with more tears. The thing is that it's not like we're injecting our blood into her stream or anything like that. She's ingesting our blood, in which it'll eventually go away. Like, it'll pass through her body. Our blood won't be with her anymore. Then she reaches out again. God damn. She does need to go to school. Look, don't keep trying if you know it's gonna hurt. Mary is like a kid throwing a tantrum and refusing to stop doing something they know is wrong. Where did her calm philosophical takes from yesterday go? I guess this is daytime Mary. It's cute, if that's what you want to call it. Back to the situation at hand though. She can look at the sunlight without getting hurt, so she hasn't completely reverted back to her previous state. The effects of my blood must be wearing out. I'll give you more blood. Let's just go back to the reception room at least. Mary creeps along the shadow and then, to avoid the sunlight, pins herself to the wall. Then she begins to shuffle along it. She's doing the old Sly Cooper, or I guess like a ninja. Man, seeing a girl all frail and desperate gives me chills. Why does it give you chills? I'm just confused. I guess taken out of like the moment or something, I don't know. I don't know how I would describe how I would feel. I go ahead and ensure the curtains are shut for the time being. Next, I head to the kitchen where I make some tea to help her calm down.
Ritsu-kun!
Whoa. Mary jumps out in front of me as soon as I get back to the room.
ねえ、Ritsu-kun、ちょうだい。明日ないのは分かってるけど、私、もう我慢できないの。
It's blood time.
ね?
What the fuck? You said it like that on purpose, didn't you?
興奮した?
No, it actually... That's what took me out of it. A little.
正直?
Not sure what kind of guy would get off on a girl pestering them for blood, though. I set the tea tray down on the table.
世の中にはツンツンした女の子に睨まれたり罵られたり足を舐めさせられて興奮する人だっているんだし。
Yeah, I'm not any of those, by the way, guys. 100%. Please don't do any of these things to me. That's also not me trying to do like the do the opposite type of thing. No, that's not at all what I'm trying to say here. It's just I hate that. Like I don't want people to be mad at me or to hurt me. I'm not totally against it, but I'm not going to admit to that now. I take a moment to word an important question. Are you okay, Mary? You seem to be awfully hungry for blood. Well, you know, I wouldn't say it's an addiction, but it's kind of what she needs to live properly, kind of. And this is also going to form into her being able to live the life she wants to live. She sighs and settles down.
小水炭欲求とか衝動のせいじゃないから安心して。ただ早く太陽の暖かさを感じたかったの。それが冬の朝の普通の人にとっては当たり前で物足りないわずかなものでも。
We're going to see if vampires can actually get sunburnt. Like the actual skin, not like her, you know, her flesh and everything. Like, it's not going to be trying to kill her, but, like, we're going to see if the sun has some sort of effect on her, like it does on humans. I see. Well, in that case, I think, and pour a cup of tea. And then I take a knife I brought with me to the ball of my finger and allow the blood to dribble into the tea. This feels a lot better to me than forcing her to kneel and drink from my finger. God damn, what the fuck? I notice her staring intently at the blood as it flows. She's trying to remain calm, but there's a red flush of what could be arousal spread over her cheeks. I wonder what the lure of blood is to a vampire. How does it smell and taste? Here you go. I hold the cup out. I mean, we know it to just be like that awful irony type, taste or smell or whatever. It's kind of disgusting, right? Like, there's not really an appeal to it, but to a vampire, it's got to be something completely opposite. Mary, too, has noticed her wistful gaze and is now embarrassed. It's okay. Just be yourself around me. I'll do the same with you. What part of that is cringy? Also, cringy isn't actually a word. I'm throwing that out there. I'm not trying to like throw that on anybody specifically, but cringy is not a word. I'm pretty sure it's not a word. I'm pretty certain that it's not a word. Like, I think cringe-worthy is a word, but cringy isn't. I don't mean to get on a tangent here. She takes the cup, gulps, and then takes the first sip. Then unable to hold back, she glugs down the rest. That's what I get for trying to talk shit, by the way. The gods were like, nope, Michael can't speak no more. She lets out a satisfied sigh, close to what one might when they enter a warm bath on a cold night. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I watch as I stick a plaster over my finger. At this rate, I'll be covered in plasters and dry of blood. That's supposed to make up for it? What the fuck? Okay, alright. With a smile, she heads over to the curtain window, reaches out a hand toward the light creeping through, but not deadly. She mutters, grabbing hold of the curtains and whipping them open. A morning filled with light has begun. Alrighty. Let's see how crazy school life is going to be with her. Mary does a little spin as she walks forward. Her long scarf trails a pace behind her in the most adorable fashion. We've had breakfast and are now on the way to class. There we go. It's a bit late to ask, but how did you find the application process? Talk about quick? What the fuck? I watched over Mary for as long as the sun was up yesterday, but I fell asleep straight after, so I had no idea what she was doing. Did you meet the headmaster? He's the one who raised me, the previous priest here. Ah, he's always been a busy person. Mary stares at me, finding my words strange. Might not be the close relationship you may think. We haven't kept in close contact in recent years. Nah, he loves his jokes. To be kind is to be strict. Well, he would say that. He stays less involved to make me more independent. Thinking about it now, he might have realized what lies within me. Power, not of God, but of demons. Honestly, that would be a pretty good tie together. Maybe he raised me not to rely on others since he knew it had to be contained, or something. Next time I see him, I'll ask. Anyway, forget about the headmaster for now. He's difficult to describe, and our relationship was far from a typical parent and child, which I imagine Mary would have a hard time understanding. What I meant was, how did you deal with it when you don't have a birth certificate or proof of address that you can use? You did you? I find myself questioning her immediately. Are those powers of mesmerization you vampires have that strong? Wait, bribery? What the fuck? So you just gave them enough money to make them want to enroll you? Technically legal, I'll give you that. This is a private academy, which means it's a business at the end of the day. Mary's money would come from the precious metals and jewels, I imagine. She might actually be the richest person at this academy. A proper rich girl. One who's had to carry her family name alone for the past 100 years. Doesn't really matter in the long run. She's a far better fit for the girls-only academy than I am, even if she is a 100-year-old vampire. Mary's cheeks are red from the cold, white mist forming at her mouth as she speaks. Yeah, if you ignore how abnormal the conversation itself is. I mean, it's the fact that you're doing it, which I'm sure this is also a little new for Ritsu because he has one friend here, and who knows how often they walk to school together. This is actually my first time going to class with someone. There we go. It feels just a bit warmer, having someone beside me.
私からもそういえばなんだけど、リツくん、昨日の腕の傷は大丈夫？今更だけど傷物にしちゃってごめんね。
It might leave a wicked scar. Oh, I meant to tell you, it's fine. I roll up my sleeve and show Mary the wrist I cut yesterday.
治ってる？反対の腕を見せてごまかしてる？
No, this was the one. I stroke my wrist. No trace of the cut is left. Oh, he's got some healing abilities too then. I cleaned and bandaged it before we went to bed last night. And I was shocked, or before I went to bed last night, and I was shocked when it didn't hurt at all when I woke up.
すごいね。吸血鬼みたい。
It's like every time I grow conscious of my powers, I can do more things with them. I pick up a stone and throw it into the air. When it reaches the peak of its arc, I wave my hand through the empty air, and the stone gets flung away like it was struck by an invisible hand.
Wow! すごい!
But also, isn't that a bad thing? Now that we're becoming more aware of it, doesn't that, get us further towards the goal that the devil on the phone is wanting us to get towards? To actually truly become the savior of demonkind, to no longer be the person we are today? Cool, but ultimately useless.
スカートめくり放題だね。
Why did both you and the devil have that as your first suggestion? Yeah, you're right, actually. I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard this somewhere.
じゃあ、携帯とかテレビのリモコンを取ろうと手を伸ばして、あとちょっとなのに届かない時に便利そう。
Yeah, you know what? There could be a use for it. I could use it instead of a back scratcher. I shake my head in disbelief.
あと、もう一つ聞きたいんだけど。
Go ahead.
私、ここ数日ずっと家にいたんだけど、誰もあの家というか、礼拝堂に来なかったんだけど、あれって普通のことなの？
I thought that was just a coincidence for the sake of the plot, to be honest. Mary, my expression drops. Please, can we not? Mental wounds aren't as quick to heal as physical ones.
誰も来ないのがいつも通りのことなんだね。
She gives me a pitying look. No, it's just like the chapel is really far out of the way, and the students these days aren't that devout anyway.
若い男の神父がいる偏僻な場所だからうかつに近づけない。
Yeah,
じゃないかな。
I have to admit, I thought that she was referring to the idea of, the girls reaching out to him for help. She's hit the nail on the head. All I can do is make the sign of the cross. Amen. Oh well. My misconception. We continue to chat casually until we reach a road with other students on it. Our conversation comes to a natural stop, but in its place...
おはようございます。ごきげんよう。
Mary starts greeting the students that we pass with a smile. She speaks with elegance and dignity, just like a proper lady. The other girls look on in admiration as they reply. But as we pass, we hear mutters of, "Who's that?" and "A foreign exchange student?" I'd forgotten that Mary doesn't look Japanese, so used to seeing her that I am, but that appearance gathers the attention of everyone who sees her. Sorry, that confused me there for a moment. Perhaps we are becoming too conspicuous? I whisper in a priestly manner.
可愛くてふわふわで美味しそうな女の子がいっぱい。
What a weird way to describe the other
みんなと友達になり
students.
たい。
That is very odd. They look yummy?
吸血鬼ジョーク。
Uh-huh. Try not to get too carried away.
はーい。
Her voice sounds so familiar now that I think about it. I just had to hear a little bit of English there. We enter the school building and proceed to the hall just through the entrance where I turn to face Mary. This is where we part then, Mary. If you have any problems, just let me know.
リツくん、トイレにでも行くの？
No.
じゃあ、一緒に教室まで行こうよ。
Oh, but of course, we're in the same class. Wow, what a surprise. I tilt my head as Mary grins from ear to ear. The first and second year classrooms are on different floors.
リツくん、私も2年だよ。
Of course. Oh, right, you wouldn't want to be a third year when they're about to graduate.
その前の、私を1年生だと思い込んでいた無言の間をスルーしたくないんだけど。
She glares at me through narrow eyes. I didn't get away with it. Just with your height and all, you look more like a first year.
まったくもう、私の方がお姉ちゃんだって言ってるでしょ?
Yeah, I mean, her maturity will probably show in class. Maybe, I don't know. Mary's huffing sure doesn't make it seem like she's the more mature one, though. I smile. So we're in the same year.
しかもクラスメートだよ。よろしくね。
The power of money really does have its effects. Yeah, I figured that was the case when you said you were a second year. At least having her an eye shot at all times will stop me from worrying. Though I get the feeling this is going to cause a lot of problems.
ちなみに、私は敬虔なクリスチャンの転校生ということで、一つよろしく。
Oh, is that the story? Okay, wait, where are you from, though? Glad to have another believer. I commit the story the cover story to memory. A big, bold lie will be easier to keep up than skirting around the truth in the long run. I go to keep on walking, but Mary takes advantage of her shortness to look at me through upturned eyes.
やっぱり、私が1年で、
Oh my god,
いつかの
no.
こと、お兄ちゃんとか呼んだ方がよかった?
No. Stop it. Not wanting to be branded a pervert or have any more rumors about me floating around, I head to class. Hey, we already have some crazy ones going on. Mary is surrounded by inquisitive girls the moment we arrive. An extra desk and chair have already been placed in the room, so they knew a new kid was coming.
私はメアリー。よろしくお願いしますね。
Mary gives another refined greeting. Looks like she'll be okay. I hope. I sit down in my seat and quietly look around the room. Trying to get in the middle of that group of girls would be an absolute disaster, no doubt about it.
おはよう、リックン。
Oh, hello. I've already forgotten all about you, to be honest. Morning, Mikako. I correct myself from using her surname.
よしよし。
That's right. Okay, it's coming back to me.
ちゃんと呼び捨てにしたね。
Okay. Her really strange personality here that sticks out over everybody else. It helped that it looked like you were about to hit me.
昨日と一昨日は休んでたけど、風邪?
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
嘘つき。それはいいんだけど。
So she sees through my lie instantly, but doesn't care in the slightest and immediately looks over toward Mary.
ほとんど並んで教室に入ってきたけど、メアリーちゃんってリックンの知り合い?
It would seem the circle of girls around Mary just posed the same question. I can hear cries of, "What? Really? And you're living with a guy?" Yeah, she's a devout Catholic, so as luck would have it, she's living in the same residence as me.
へえ。
Not like you to take an interest in the new kid, Mikako.
それ以外には今日は3つくらいしか話題ないけど、どれもあんまり面白くないから。メアリーちゃんはリックンの彼女さん?
Oh, no, definitely not. What? No. Especially not in the house of the Lord. I've been ready for the rumors, but being directly asked leaves me flustered.
違うんだ。でもあの子、とてもいいと思うよ。
For real. Seriously, what's with you? I can't believe Mikako would jump straight to the topic of relationships.
なんだろうね。
Apparently, she can't grasp why she's so interested in Mary either.
笑顔があんなに気になる人を見たことないからかな。メアリーちゃんってどんな精神構造をしてるんだろう。
Yeah. Let's not worry about all that. Now I understand what's bothering Mikako, though her phrasing is off as usual. Mikako can't get a grasp of Mary's true intentions. Both Mary and Mikako have smiles that never falter, but the reasons for that couldn't be more different. Mary's smile is about as natural as it gets.
自然?
She's not hiding behind it or putting it on for show. She's smiling because she's happy. Seeing Mary's brilliant smile from within the circle of girls starts making me smile too. I mean, yeah, she finally gets to do one of the things that she's really wanted to do. I don't know if it was one of her final wishes necessarily. I think it was. Though the most that we could do at the time was just get her a school uniform. But yeah, now she can go all the way here and actually, attend this academy as a student, which is great. It's the kind of happiness you get from looking at a baby or a kitten.
あの子はとても感情的ってこと?
No, to put it in words you'd understand, I'd say that she's reached the stage of enlightenment. Mikako gives me an exaggerated eye roll.
ああ、それは私にはわからないや。
Man, who would? Right, you're like a physical manifestation of logic. I'm not saying either of you are wrong, you just have very different personalities. I smile and continue in an attempt to prove that they're not too different. Like, if I told Mary that you're a genius, she'd probably go, wow, that's so cool.
そうだね。で、羨ましがるんじゃなくて納得しちゃうところが私なんだろうね。
That's what I like about you, Mikako.
私もりっくんは好きだよ。いつも大事な一言が足りないところとか、いつも無駄に一言多いところとか。
We both start laughing. When the topic of conversation herself comes over to us. Uh-huh. What's going on? Now, she seems really overjoyed, and that's great. Someone sure is happy. I gesture at her face. She's smiling so much it looks like her jaw's about to fall off.
いいの。みんな親切で優しくていいクラスだね。ところで、こちらの彼女は？
Mary asks, remaining in refined mode. I guess you could say she's my one and only friend.
私は赤サビミカコだよ。
You know, for better or for worse there, I guess.
私はメアリー・ハーカー。今日からよろしくね。握手する？ああ、私、こう見えて日本生まれだから。
You know, just not the Japanese name going on here. Mary bows instead. A perfectly normal first meeting so far. I should use this opportunity to give you a warning, Mary.
何？
Mikako-san is kind of special.
リツくんはなんでそんなにミカコさんの名前を呼ぶだけで苦労してるの？
It's complicated. I was ready for Mikako to jump at me, but it seems that she's restraining herself to a giant smirk on her face this time.
まあいいけど、ミカコさんが特別って何が？
She's what you would call a genius.
天才って？
Yes, very much so.
人間の知能を単純に数値化することはできない
I
けど。
remember, yeah, she actually is. Like, this isn't really a joke. Like, she actually is smart, from what I remember in our only conversation with her. Mikako's used to her usual traits being introduced.
わかりやすい遊びだけど、3桁の数字を3つ言ってみて。127、340、832？全部かけると
No.
3592万5760。一桁目にゼロの数字があるから思ってた以上に簡単になっちゃった。
There's no way you'd be able to do that in your head. I'm sorry, but that is stupid ridiculous.
おお、電卓みたい。このくらいの暗算なら結構できる人はいるよ。
No, not like that.
でもこのくらいにしておかないとみんなびっくりしてくれないんだよね。
If that actually exists with people, I want to know, like, what things have to be wired in what ways in your fucking brain to be able to figure all that out that quickly. Like, it's that speed. I'm sure that people are able to do mental math in, you know, all sorts of different ways. But to be able to do it that quickly, I think is just insane. Not that we would know if you got the answer correct. I smile sarcastically, but Mary's eyes are glistening.
私なんて自分で言った数字を覚えてない。すごいかっこいい。
See? Exactly as I predicted.
リツくんは面白い友達がいるんだね。ミカコさん、よかったら私とも仲良くしてね。
Mary's complete openness has Mikako a little taken aback.
私は普通の人と違うから仲良くすると他のことは仲良くできなくなるかもって注意をりっくんはしたかったんだよね。
Mikako looks over at me. Oh no, I was just gonna tell her to be prepared to be shocked.
私そういうの気にしないから。
Mary laughs, not bothered in the slightest. Though it truly does help me that she isn't.
ミカコさんは7人目のお友達ね。
God damn, you're just making so many goddamn friends all in like one morning. It hasn't even been like the first period of class yet. You've already made 6 more.
りっくん、この子変な子だよ。
Oh, 100%. But I think every main character in this story is going to be a bit of a weirdo in their own way. And that's what makes them a core character. Mikako tilts her head in curiosity, ignoring that Mary's in front of her. Mary, likewise, gives a carefree laugh. I raise my hands to get them both to calm down. Look, it hasn't even been 5 minutes since you guys met. You'll have plenty of time to get to know each other in the future. I'm glad that Mary seems to have taken well to Mikako at least. This could be a good opportunity to help Mikako settle into the class more.
そうだね。これから。
Wait, why are you crying? Wait, hold on. Huh? I realize something's wrong with the way that Mary's laughing. I look over and get a shock. Mary's in tears. Whoa, why are you crying?
あれ私、今回は変なこと言ってないよね。
Yeah, she's gonna be sticking around for at least, a while, right? Like, I would assume that everything was fine there with that assumption, those use of words. We're both in shock, and the rest of the attentively listening class even more so.
ごめん、大丈夫だから、ちょっとごめんなさい。
Mary sniffles up a smile and then leaves the classroom. I watch in silence. Wait, all the girls in class are looking at me. They use no words, but they're telling me to go after her. Huh? Me? I ask by gesturing to myself. About 60% of the girls nod. So that's how it is, huh?
私もなんだかわからないけど、頑張ってね。
Yeah, thanks. Mikako claps me on the back. I leave the room, worried what I'll do if Mary's gone into the bathroom. I mean, we've done all we could, It's almost time for morning homeroom, so there are barely any students in the hallways. I look around to see Mary walking away not too far off. She heads down the stairs. I follow after. Why is she running off? She's fucking outside now. What is her problem? Mary. I call out to Mary when we head out into the courtyard. She comes to a stop. There's a sniffle and then she starts crying again. What's going on? Did Mikako or I say something to offend you?
違うの。そうじゃないの。というか、あんまり泣いてた顔を見ないで。
I mean, I want to say it's your fault for crying, like, out of the blue here in the first place. Everything was going fine. Mary looks at the ground, raising both hands to cover her face, red in embarrassment. She really is an angel. But...
そうだよね。いきなり泣き出したらびっくりするよね。
I mean, the only thing I can think of...
失敗しちゃった。しょぼーん。
The only thing I can think of is that, this is a huge moment for her. Basically, something that she's dreamed of to be more human than ever. And now that it's happening, it's very emotional for her. It's such a huge change. Mary sighs and drops her shoulders jokingly. It's best to wait for her to calm down right now, so I refrain from saying more.
ごめんね、リツくん。もう、私なんでこんなにオロオロしちゃってるんだろう。
Now Mary's angry with herself. I peer into her eyes and ask one more time to be sure. Are you certain that you didn't think we were teasing you or anything?
違うの。そうじゃなくて、嬉しくて。
You are? Those are happy tears?
だって、お日様だけじゃなくて、学園に通えるようになって、そこまでは分かってたんだけど、実際にね、経験したら、ね、思ってたより、ずっと学校は楽しかった。
Yeah, she's able to talk with people during the day, make friends, have plans for, getting closer to people in the future.
たくさんの人がいて、
It's a big moment for
どん
her.
な音楽が好きとか、どんな趣味があるのか聞いてもらえて、それでね、すぐに友達までできて、だからさっきリツくんに心の中でありがとうって思ってた。
And now she's gonna start crying again.
涙が
Mary sniffles through the last few words before crying again. Hey now, don't cry, Mary. I take out a handkerchief and raise it to her face. Come on, blow. You're getting all snotty.
私、子供じゃない。
Yeah, she sounds like one, and she's acting like one. Oops. I back away as she gets angry.
分かってるから、頭がおかしくなったとかじゃなくて、どうしても涙が出ちゃうだけなの。
It's an emotional moment, but it's much more emotional than I think any of us could really ever expect someone to be in this sort of situation.
すぐ慣れるから。
Right. I don't know, it's that movement from being like pretty much decades of, loneliness, just straight up loneliness, unable to live a proper life, And now she's being offered that opportunity to live a bit of a normal life. I scratch my head. I can see how our normal way of life is such a dream come true for Mary that it's driven her to tears. But I don't think I'm going to be able to take my eyes off of her if she's this sensitive. Despite her age, it feels like I've just gotten myself a handful of a little sister. What's more, and we're going to be late for class. Mary gives me a slack-jawed look as the bell chimes. Yep, it's Mary's first day, and she's going to be late for class. Come on, fly us up back to the second floor. We'll go through the window. Or so I thought. But when we timidly poke our heads into the classroom, the teacher greets us with a smile. She even shows concern for Mary and tells her not to push herself too hard. Apparently, the other students had testified that Mary's nerves at transferring in had made her feel unwell, so I had taken her to get some fresh air. A little help from her new friends. Honestly, that's pretty sick. This is it's a strict institution, I'm sure, but it's definitely got some leeway. Like, there's a sense of understanding, which I think is really cool. Mary, definitely fictional, by the way. There's no fucking way you'd ever see this in any school whatsoever, but Mary looks like she's about to burst out in tears again when she hears this, but manages to keep herself together. Then classes start. It's a day no different to any other. Mary behaves herself during class, and none of the teachers or other students, behave any different. Some girls take Mary with them at lunch, leaving me to eat alone. Per usual, I'm sure. I'm sure that's pretty much the usual. But this is cool. This is great. Before long, classes are over.
メアリーちゃん、じゃあね。ごきげんよう。また明日。じゃあね。
Mary awkwardly returns the farewells. She's exchanged words with almost half the class at this point, but those were the final two. Now just Mary and I are left in the classroom. Damn, even Mikako's out of here, huh? I wonder why she's not gone off to hang out with her new friends as she comes over to me. She's tired. Then she slumps forward on my desk. No, I understand.
疲れました。
I understand. When you have that drastic of a change in your regular, life schedule, yeah, you're gonna be pretty exhausted. I smile. Good job. First days are really strenuous.
だって転校生でみんなに注目されてたからちゃんとしてないといけないと思って。
I noticed you sitting up straight as a board during class.
ほらね。
And that's hard to manage. That's hard to manage for 8 hours in a day or whatever.
そんなんじゃ居眠りなんてできないよ。
That is true. She makes a good point. How did you find classes?
学力は平気だよ。今まで時間だけはいくらでも余ってたからいろいろなことを勉強したんだ。
Okay, no, that's good to stay productive like that. That explains why you're so good at cooking.
楽器も一通りは演奏できるし、乗馬とか弓道とか盆栽もやったよ。どれも薄く広くだけど。
That's quite the variety of hobbies. I finished tidying up my books and notes into my bag and stand up. So you didn't want to go hang out with your new friends after class?
もうしばらくはまず普通の生活に慣れるところからにするよ。
Totally understandable. Baby steps. This is kind of like rehabilitation for you.
それにいつリツくんの血の効果が切れるかまだわからないから怖くて。
That is also fair because if it does wear off or start to wear off, then, they need to scurry along somewhere and get more blood in her. Mary's tone turns slightly serious. Yeah, that too. I frowned, realizing I forgot the most important thing. I was meant to be watching over Mary as she had fun, but she's the more level-headed of the two of us. If there's a repeat of what happened to her this morning while I'm not around, she'll not only be left dead in the water, but people might even figure out she's a vampire.
しばらくは昼間はリツくんから離れられないと思うんだけど。ごめんね。
It's cool. I'm glad. Nothing. I find myself embarrassed by the words I spoke without thinking. Honestly, I had been worried that in coming to school, Mary might get stolen from me by the other girls. Nah. I mean, she's still gonna live with them and everything. I mean, there's really no worries. I still have a long way to go, but that also goes to show you how much she does care for her after this short amount of time. How close, I mean, obviously the circumstances that they've gone through to make sure that she can even come here do bring them even closer together. You want to head straight home and rest, or we could look around the shops while it's still bright? I ask her what she would like to do when we reach the first floor.
それより学園の案内は？
I don't think there's anything that special to show you. Everyone always says the buildings are surprisingly boring inside for how impressive they look in appearance. I think that's like that with a lot of academies and, schools of this manner, is that, yeah, the architecture and exterior appearance really is nice, but once you get inside, it's going to be pretty boring. I don't even know if a lot of classes will have, huge windows or anything like that in a lot of cases. They won't really put anything up on the walls either. They'll try to keep them blank. Yeah, usually they keep them pretty, empty. I don't know anything about the world outside the academy. You probably know more about what you'll find around here than I do.
それもそっか。
She raises a hand to her chin in thought.
そういえば温水プールがあるって言ってたよね。それは珍しいから見てみたいかも。
I'm down for that. Oh, right, that. My expression grows conflicted.
何かあるの？
I'm a guy, so going to the pool is...
あ、そっか。リツくんは立ち入り禁止？
No one has said as much, but...
私と一緒なら大丈夫でしょ。冬に水着の女の子が見放題なんてむしろ役得だよ。
I would constitute that as a bonus, sure. I don't know. I mean, it's just... whatever, if you say so. Has she forgotten how many girls I've taken in that residence? I've seen far more skin than a swimsuit has on to show. Though they do have their own charms. Honestly, in anime and all that, I don't really see the appeal, but hey, you know what? It's whatever, sure. Go for it, yeehaw. Just make sure to cover for me if anyone says anything, okay?
あいよー。
I'm sure this will go swimmingly. Her reply doesn't fill me with much confidence, but I start leading the way down the corridor. I'm sure we'll be okay. Eventually, we step out into the courtyard.
寒い。
We're outside. Prickled by a forgotten cold, our pace quickens as we head to the next building. Since the pool has a high dive board, it's logically housed in a tall building. Well, yeah, I mean, typically pools are in taller buildings, I think.
こうなってるんだ。すごいね。
Though that isn't really what I was thinking of a high dive board, but okay, no, that's all right. No, I don't know why I thought that all pool buildings needed to be tall. They're either, outdoors or they do have some tall ceilings. I don't know. This is just my assumption at this point. What do I know?